Bruce Azure. I know a lot of y'all used to seeing me from cutting hair, but in my spare time, I'm usually out reaching, trying to speak with people in the community, doing other things as far as any way I can help on my end as far as restoring the foundation and the culture in the community, especially the urban community. Today we're going to be speaking on accountability in our relationships and our personal lives, how on both ends, as black men and black women, that we should start taking accountability of the things that we do in order to build that foundation and restore what we once had. So today we're going to be sitting down with Mr. Bruce Jones and L'Oreal Jones, who's over Bruce Jones Production. He's a music and producer in the Dallas community, and we're going to be sitting down and they're just going to pretty much share a little bit of their personal situation in their lives and how they took accountability to build and strengthen their relationship personally. Alright, and Ms. Jones.
Hey y'all.
How you doing? Mr. Bruce, well, to start out I do want you all to be comfortable. Don't be nervous.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I can't tell you don't be nervous, but just be comfortable. I'm trying to make you as comfortable as possible. Speaking, if you feel we don't want to get too personal, but personal enough to where we can, others can relate to your personal situation.
Sure, at least a little bit of the vulnerabilities.
Exactly.
That are experienced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can start with the other day. I know earlier this week, me and Bruce was speaking on a situation where he was facing child custody.
Right.
He tagged me in one of his lives, and we was talking. And a lot of people commented on there, and I would like to thank the people that did comment on there, because they provided a lot of good information for him.
Yes, they did. We got a lot of good comments. And just real quick on that, thank you all for all the comments, the shares, the prayers, the thoughts, the pats on the back. It has really deeply affected us. I've always said this is something I'll never forget as long as I live. And thank y'all out to my live that's tuning in. But but go ahead. I just wanted to just say thank you really from both of us. Thank you for that. It was a lot of love felt.
No, that's good. That's good, because I know he was pretty much been. You want to kind of discuss, Bruce, a little bit on that issue as far as what you was actually dealing with at that time.
As far as at that time, I was dealing with an issue far as emotional. I was like very, very, very emotional. They say you never know when you hit your rock bottom until you hit your rock bottom. And that was probably at that moment. That's basically what happened. Because at the end of the day, you can only do so much and be patient so many times and hear people say, oh, it's going to be all right, or all that good stuff. Yeah. People try to support you the best way they can, what I'm saying, without knowing your situation. And I get that, what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it's you that's left with the situation.
Right.
And at that time, I made that post, I just woke up. I didn't even go to sleep that night. I just got up. I got up early, and I was like, man, I'm finna ask for some help. Because at the end of the day, pride can be so much and be so big to the point to where you will be sitting here as an old man talking about, damn, I wish I could have did that.
Man, speaking of, not because I was speaking of pride, we as men, that's something that we have to hold ourselves accountable of. We're afraid. We don't like asking for help a lot of times. I know Reverend Jackson, I'll never forget, he told me at one time, I was going through a situation in my life, and he was like, well, why you didn't ask for help? And I was like, I don't like asking for help. And he was like, well, that's a pride that we as men have to get rid of. Sometimes we're going through things, and we hold it in a lot, and we probably don't like to share it, or then when we do share it, it come off real hard and rough. And a lot of times, so that's something that I can address myself, that that pride, I have to get out of that as well as a black man.
And as the first woman with y'all, we've it's like a boom boom. You know, we feel it with y'all. It's already a connection there, so it's like a pipeline. You know, what you feel, I feel. When you good, I'm good. When you not, I'm not. When I'm not, he's not. Like it's a lot of shared weight. So, but at the end of the day, you know, everybody is feeling it within themselves. You know, within them, deeply within them. Yeah.
My wife tells me that a lot of times too. She like she can tell when I'm kind of I noticed it. You know, that was some, on my end that I had to learn to grow within and know when she's feeling that. You know, she know I'm quiet. She can understand me, and she can tell when I'm kind of going through something. So I'm learning to communicate a little better as far as addressing it. You know, try to watch how I word it. You know, and things. And it's getting better. We've got better, a whole lot better in that area.
That's good.
As far as now with the child custody, did you all? I know you all received a lot of good information.
Yes. Okay. So I want to give an update. Real quick. Okay. So this past week there was some turmoil between me and my husband, and so but about the child custody. In the time of emailing, calling offices, different things like that, I reached out to this lady back in November. Okay, y'all, November. I never heard anything back from her until this past week. It was 2 days that me and my husband had to take a break, and he left for a couple of days. It had got a little just too heated.
And not to cut you off, but a lot of people don't really just too much know. We don't want to get them too personal, but as far as like what really happened with the child, cause like what was the situation for y'all to really try to push now? Because I know the mother had passed away.
Okay, you want us to give like a little background?
Background.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense because we kind of started
at the end of the day, the situation with my kid is I had a kid in 2013, found out she was mine, ended up going to jail, to the penitentiary. I would finally get to the penitentiary about a week there, found out she passed.
The child's mother passed away.
I was telling the story. I thought they were, you know.
Well, it's a lie, so we don't know,
Okay,
who
so
to be.
I mean, that's what happened. The mom of the child of my kid passed away, and this is happening while I'm locked up. I found out that my kid is over there with her grandmother first, then she take her to my mom. Now, when she gets to my mom, I'm already like, take her out from over there, because that's where I got abused at. Just physical and mental, nothing, past that, you know what I'm saying, far as they telling me I wasn't going to be nothing, or they probably hit me with some shit, you know what I'm saying. Other than that, that's about abuse that I got. So I left that situation at 15. So when my kid got there, I went into that mode. Let me get out from over there. This is happening while I'm locked up though. So you can barely do anything. I barely knew my wife at this time, about 6 months.
Yeah, we were
about 7 months.
friends.
We were friends at the time. So I wasn't depending on her to just go over there and save my kid. You know what I mean?
It came up. It did come up because he knew what kind of household he left. But I was like, with us being friends, I wouldn't want a brand new baby and deal with her mother's family and his family, and then he's not even here, and we just friends, and I have 3 children of my own. I was just like, we not quite there. That's a lot. That gets intense real quick. So I just stuck it out with him in the 11 months that he was locked up, and we heavily communicated about everything that was going on. So I supported him in that manner. He came home 11 months later, and that's when hell began.
Man,
That's when
I
the
was
nightmare
locked up.
started. It's been
It started
a
when I was
nightmare
locked up. I got the letter telling me that she wanted to keep her for this long. So I
from
was
his
like,
mom. Yes.
so I was like, no, because when I get out, I'm gonna want to give my kid. So
Right. He had already told
So
me.
it was
He had
like-
already told me.
it was like, okay, so well, this is what it's gonna be. So I can't do too much of nothing. She told the lawyer. She didn't know where I was at, so I never got served any papers.
No.
That's what made that happen. And then on top of that, I went to try to what is it? When I got the blood test done to say that that she was mine, then I had to put my name on the birth certificate. Went through that. Finally get out of the penitentiary. I go to a court. I go to court, and they say,
That's
well,
that's another thing too with that putting your name on the birth certificate. A lot of doctors are forced that too for you to come in, because when you go through certain situations too like that, the state will pick her.
pick your kid. Yeah, the state will get your kid. So I'm trying to get the documents to get on the birth certificate initially. So we sending the paperwork downtown. In the meantime, while trying to get me out of jail, you know what I'm saying, at least to get the first parole date to come, right?
Right.
So I'm doing that. I finally get out of the pen, and I go over there. I see my kid. Now, the whole time, everybody's saying they was with me trying to get her. So when I get out,
Right, his family
the whole
at
story
first,
switched.
they were
So-
all like rooting for him.
Yeah,
You need to
let me
get your
get-
daughter.
yeah, you gonna get
soon
your
as
baby
you
when
get
you get out.
home.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So when you
Yeah.
got out,
When
what
he
was the
came
situation? When
home,
you came home, where did you go when you came home?
When I came home,
I
I
picked him
initially
we went
came
straight
over there.
to
Over there where
where
my
they
kid
live.
was. You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
there.
And that's where
Yes.
my parole was at
right
initially.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't staying there. I came over here. When I came here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need my kid.
He immediately wanted to spend time
She
with
was
her,
like-
you know, just bond with her
She
initially.
initially
It wasn't
gave me-
even about
I had her for like a week.
Right,
I
you just
say,
getting up.
yeah,
I
he
had her
just
for
wanted
like
to
a
spend
week.
time with her.
Was
yeah.
it like a week? I was like, let me get her for like a little time. So I got her for like a week, but then that
Yeah,
week,
it was barely a week
it was
though.
like, nah, I'm gonna tell her. But in that week, you know, she was like, I'm gonna need her back Friday. And I was like, I just told her I'm gonna bring her back Sunday.
Blowing up the phone.
You know, before she go to school, I'm gonna bring her back. You know what I'm saying?
Sounded
We're trying to-
hostile.
So she say, you know what? If you don't bring her back, you know, I'm gonna call the police. At
Yeah.
this time, she done got
Yeah.
full
This is
sole
after 3 or
custody.
4 days.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
this is my blood mother.
And
This
she
the chick
has
that
the
had
full
me.
custody. Yes.
Right? She had
Mhm.
sole custody
Yes.
of my kid,
Yes.
right? So she's like, okay, so when I get over there, I know my rights. So she can't initially do anything that ain't hers. So I say, alright, I'm gonna come get her shit then. Excuse my French. I'm gonna come get her stuff.
This was after. This was not initially. This was
This is
after.
this is the same.
Sometime. We
this
want to
is the
make that
same
clear.
about
It wasn't
two-
your immediate response.
This is the same 2 months.
Yeah.
This
This is
within
some time done
2
built
months that
up
I
by
done got
him.
out.
Yeah.
I done got out by 2 months. Yeah, I done built up frustration when you done
Yeah.
call me
He's
back.
trying to communicate back
You know
and
what I'm
forth,
saying?
like what's going on. You know.
So like with your mom now, like after that happened, like what was y'all situation as far as
Oh, it was about to shatter. I mean, at that time now, I'm fully focused on my kid, you know. And when
before
I'm
you got locked up, was y'all on talking terms? Was
who,
y'all-
me and my mom?
Yes,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a total opposite.
That was my best. That was my
Yeah.
ice cold boom.
Now, just
Yeah,
speaking.
that's why I know about, you know, just to hear on the side, that's why I know about, you know, relationships, and that's why I'm good at, you know, because they taught me a lot being around so many women. You know what I mean? I mean, she didn't teach me all bad things. Did I go through a lot of bad things? Yes. But did she teach me a lot of good things in there? Yes, she did. You know what I mean? So it was kind of stunned at first. You know what I mean? It was a shock. It was like, you know how you get hit with that thing, but you alive. You just got hit with it.
Yeah.
Cause somebody want to play too much. You know what I mean? You just got, and then it was like, what? You really gonna do that?
So what was the main thing you think that just really made y'all relationship just started going
She
south?
told me no.
Everything about
I'ma
him
just be
trying to
honest.
spend time with his daughter was no.
Everything was no.
During the time, also, we need to make this known too. Also, during the time that Bruce was locked up, I was also not only supported to him being locked up, communicating with him, me and his mom had a totally different relationship as well, as far as with his daughter. Before his daughter's mother passed away, I was telling her, okay, she didn't inform Bruce that she was even pregnant at the beginning. I guess the relationship, in her eyes, she just, I guess, didn't think it, spare her the headache or something to that effect. So someone else reached out to him and felt like, no, you need to know about this little girl. This is your daughter. She knows this is your daughter. So that's how he found out. And we as friends went over and he went to go see the baby the day he was notified. And so when he got locked up, he was telling me, I feel a really good connection with you and I really want to build a foundation with you. Like, that's why we were friends. He knew his life at the time. He's on the run. All of this probation crap is not working out.
That's part of like your mom maybe like the relationship that could have do you think she could have been like disappointed or upset you got locked up or something like that? And
No.
Girl in the middle.
Man, living in, I'm gonna be honest, this part of it, I'm gonna say this, living in my family, illegal things and illegal stuff, illegal, all that's part of the norm. Everybody in my family got locked up, from me to my sister to hell. We all got locked up. So me going to jail was probably a notch on the belt to them, you know what I mean? Ain't no telling. I don't know how they felt when I got locked up. Only thing I knew was I was blinded by, you told me no, I couldn't have my kid. You wanted me to wait 5 years just so you can get benefits and stuff like this.
Right. That was the letter that she actually wrote.
I tell you what, I say, man, look, I tell you what, you can have,
that she wants the benefits.
I say, you can have the benefits.
Yeah.
You can have all of that.
Yep.
You can keep that. We can keep it under the table. I'm gonna be honest.
He was like, I just want my baby.
Only reason why I'm telling y'all this.
That's been his only plea the entire time.
Only reason why I'm saying that is to say this. I done told lawyers this. I done told caseworkers this. I done told child protective custody this. So
CPS.
whatever. I done told all of them the same thing. You know what I'm saying? All of them. From lawyers to judges, they done had the proof right there. You know what I'm saying? It was like right in their face. But if you don't have the proper ways of doing things, that's where, sometimes you do follow, but the fight be so much. You know what I mean? Like, where me and my T-John fell out, it didn't have nothing to do with the fact she even had my kid. It was the situation that she had my kid in, knowing that it could have been better. Like, I could see if she would have got her first little old disbursement from Social Security, you know what I'm saying? I could see if she got that, got an apartment, a car, and they had a little 2-bedroom apartment. I can't do nothing but respect that, and then I didn't have to come over here. I could have went there. Build a relationship with my kid, and me and my kid could have left together. See, that's a whole different situation, right?
Yeah.
But being as it may, when you get money hungry, or if you feel like it's a lick somewhere, if you feel like it's something that, but it's not benefiting the kid, it's benefiting you, that's where the conflict came in with me and her.
You see that in a lot of relationships, especially the younger generation, the more you see it being taught, and a lot, especially in the black community, you see it being taught a lot. I done been around situations where I've done witnessed, older mothers teaching their daughters to make sure they mess with a dude to get their social and get this. The child, the first thing they set them up is to go get assistance.
Right.
It's not setting up for the men to be the men of the household
right.
like it should be. They setting it up for the system to be the men in the household, and then when the situation comes, a brother asking like, man, what am I really here for?
Because she doesn't even, and I don't mean to interrupt, but going along with what you're saying, she doesn't even respect him as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, there
I mean,
is
he haven't really had a chance.
his,
I haven't even had a chance.
right, it was already ripped away, it kind of, at the time we thought it was like that because of this paperwork.
Right.
You know, in the beginning, we were just like, oh my God, you know, we realized, because we didn't know anything about family law and none of that, but going to court and getting consultations with lawyers, we knew it was going to be hell.
So where y'all in now with
So basically the situation on our end is really good. He's now off parole. There's no more correctional stuff involved. The business, at the beginning, they were like, you have a business? Okay, where is it? And it was like, but now it's some years later, so it has built some history to it now.
Right.
And, you know, tax filing history. So, yeah. So, but as far as him and the baby, you know, and us as a family, during the time he was locked up, me and my children we were, like I said, the relationship with me and his mom was different. And so we could go pick her up whenever we wanted to. Mm-hmm. You know, she spent her first Christmas with us, Thanksgiving. So that's how I want everybody to know how different of a dynamic we talking about here. Right. You know, when he was away, she trusted me like that to have his baby here with us. She came to my house one time and she saw where I lived, and after that we were able to, and he told her, I want my daughter to be able to spend time with L'Oreal, her children. You know, she's a really good person, and I see a future with her. So she said, okay.
You and the daughter, I have a...
Right. So that's where my love came in.
They got a bond.
Know,
they had a bond before I had a bond with her. Ain't that something? And you know what I'm saying? On the cool.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And just a side story, right? You know, when I was locked up, I was going in between, right? We wasn't together, me and my wife now. We wasn't together at the time that I was locked up. So it was this other chick that was there, and I left her alone at this time. She pops up with my kid. Like, after the letter, you know how you give them a dear, you know, we got the, you know, in prison you got the Dear John letter, that's the white folks. Then you got the Dear Pedro letter, that's for the business. Then you got Dear Jody letter. I sent her the Dear Jody letter. No bullshit. I sent her the letter. I was like, man, look, I'm finna go over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go over there. And she was like, man, woo, 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 woo. You know, I thought it was the last of that. And then about a month later, I get a visitation, and I was like, what? That's so, you know, I put on, you know, when you're in there, bitch, put on your good whites on the visitation. I go out there, and she got my whole kid right there. So I'm like, okay, where my mom at?
Another young lady that he's told her,
like, I done told her to leave me alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Yeah. And so I'm like,
because things with me and him, like, you know,
I'm like, all right,
serious.
Man.
So,
I'm looking at my kid, but I'm like, where my mom at?
Right.
I'm 5 hours away from the house.
In Abilene.
You know what I'm saying? I'm way in Abilene.
It was a long
So I'm like, where my mom at? Oh, she stayed at home. Stayed at home? This is a 9-month-old kid. This is 9 months. She's 9 months, about 9 or 10 months.
Y'all pursuing the issue still as far as, you know, custody?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I am. I got to.
So,
not because of me, it's not because I want my kid. It's because it's a better environment. It's healthy. You know what I'm saying? We all go through problems as couples. Don't get me wrong. We got fussing, we fighting. That's what make a couple strong at the end of the day. And if you know how to sit down and talk to your kid, then they'll understand what you're going through while you're fussing and fighting, long as it's a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? But
right, when you go sit down and have the conversations with your kids.
Around, it wasn't just the fact that
you don't just let them see you fighting in nothing.
When I came over here, it was the kids' manful. You know what I'm saying? They very, very respectful kids. At the end of the day, I wanted my kid to be around this kind of environment.
Right.
It wasn't that, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at it from outside of me. What if I was just the outside looking in at me? Would I want my kid to be with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm looking at who all around me. So while I was in the pen, that's why I let the chick go. Cause I was a firm believer in, if I got a daughter, she should only see me with only a few girls in life, and if I'm jumping from girl to girl, it'll be 1 to 2, to where she can relevant to be like, you remember the last chick you had? You messed that up, you know, because you teaching your daughter. I can't teach my daughter how to be a woman, but I can teach her on what I think a good woman should be, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't supposed to be with a dude that's supposed to be fucking around. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do that in front of my little girl. So when I came to know her, I started liking her. You know what I'm saying? And it was more than just you know, I mean, I'm just, yeah, you know, it's just gonna be this quick come up or whatever, or however the case may be. I was looking for change in my life,
Right.
and for the good, not the worst. She was looking for change in her life.
Right.
I was already elevating myself in the spiritual sense at this time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm educating myself on change, because somebody told me, oh, go spiritual, it's gonna change. All right, well, I wanna change, I'm gonna go spiritual. And that's how I did that. But when I came here, I had the notion to build. I told her I wanted to build. So being around just one stable environment around a child, to me, that's the reason why I wanted my kid, because being as it may, I grew up in that same household. You know what I'm saying? I grew up there, I was mentally abused. It
So
wasn't.
You know what's coming.
Yeah, I know exactly what she got. And I have a documentation on the CD that states that true fact. Not only did I speak it, but the lady went over there and experienced it for herself.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right, she
saying?
even talks about it in
It's
the report.
in the report.
She
You know what I'm
said
saying?
what
So
was
with
said
the-
around her. Yeah,
and with the
it's
report-
real.
Right.
You gonna show your true colors no matter what. Yeah.
So it's like where I stand there on it, where I had to let, and a lot of people say, man, you can't never let your mama go. And what I had to come to realization that I have only one mama, right?
Mm.
But even in the case that it may be, I'm living proof that some blood, even mom, pops, whatever, because she told me very heinous things about my father, and he came out to be 10 times better than what she was or is today. And that's what, you know, kind of deal with
in those type of situations, sometimes you got
PTSD,
not to get off topic or nothing like that, but those type of situations, sometimes you have to let go. Like, man, my mom, when I was a child, young, before I went to move with my dad, we was close. And then I moved with my dad, then I came back when I was 14, so 9.5 years from 6 I left when I was 6, and I came back when I was 14. So sitting there, and I came back actually on her birthday. I'll never forget, July 25th, 1997, you know what I'm saying, I came back. And our relationship was back on a building course, you know what I'm saying? But by then I hit those teenage years. So, you know, we knocked heads a lot. I wasn't the same little boy that she used to, you know, see all the time. So we knocked heads, but now we at that point to where we both actually sat down and had a conversation and had to let things go. And once we let that go, of course you're gonna still have those little, you know, but it takes time. It took years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it took
that's
time
what I'm
we
finding
finally
out.
got back on that point. I believe that you and your mother, you know, it's just some unresolved issues. She probably never got some things off her chest, you never got off your chest. And then when it do come off, it don't come off as good, you know what I'm saying?
Well, with that, I can attest to that, or not attest, I'm not gonna say that, because at the end of the day, everybody is entitled to how they feel, even your mom. Even going through what I'm going through with her, she's still entitled to how she feels. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't know what she perceives as such,
Exactly.
because she's never seen what I am.
Exactly, and that's the point.
That's the understanding that I have today versus to where it is where I was a few years ago where it was anger. I'm coming at, like, say for instance, if I came to you as a kid, right, and you raised me, if you raise a kid to be respectful and mannerful, and all of a sudden he's calling you names, then it's not such as he's full of shit, or excuse my French, he's full of mess, or it ain't his dad, is why is he cursing at me, is the question you need to be asking. And when you say it out loud, that's what makes the jog the memory think, what the, you know, and then you'll become humble and ask me certain questions come out of you, versus whereas you feel like I'm gonna touch into your soul and I might be saying some hurtful things to you because it's the person that's saying it. That's what it is with my mama. I feel it's the feeling. I've been protecting my mother for a long time. You know what I'm saying? As far as fighting, as far as mental, emotions, whatever the case may be. I was one of the mama's boys.
He wasn't allowed to be a little kid. From an early age, he had to protect her, try to protect himself.
Okay, not to cut you off, and this is where we're finna get into transition because we were talking about the child custody. Now, I know you all received some good information. I'm glad on that. I know a lot of people gonna keep y'all in the prayers. We're gonna keep y'all praying for y'all as well on the issue, and that you come home with y'all daughter. Because in my household, we don't believe in step nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as accountability, that's what's up, and accountability, that's where this come in on the next subject. How we see that in a lot of black homes, in a lot of families. Period. It ain't just black families, but right now we focus a lot on the urban community because we have to clean house first before we try to focus on other things. We have to focus on everybody else.
For real.
And that's something else that we have to hold ourselves accountable to. Our actions, the things that we do in our relationships, everything, even whether it's personal, in-house, out-house, even with our business, we have to continue to treat it more professional. I see that a lot now, and I thank y'all for sure as well as y'all. I see how y'all handle y'all business, and y'all try to be a little more professional. The thing that can hurt your business is when you be too personal and too voiceful, and I had to learn that myself, you know what I'm saying, as far as even on my business, cutting hair, customized shoes, just doing different things. A lot of people will kind of stray away when you be too personal. When you give a person too much of yourself and too much of your mind on social media, it can affect your business. And once I kind of learned that, it was told to me, but I got this. And then finally, when I started actually putting it to the test and seeing it, like how it can hurt my business, I started holding myself a little more accountable. Like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna be a little more professional. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do it that way. And constructive criticism is always a big plus. And I know sometimes Bruce, that's my boy, you know what I'm saying? So I know he might get a little personal on social media, you know what I'm saying? And I know sometimes that can affect the business as well. And I know dealing on top of that, along with the child custody, it can cause issues in the home. Both of y'all have y'all own opinion, things of how things should be done, how things should be looked at, and it can cause a conflict. And when you running off emotions can cause a big situation because we're not thinking clear when we're running off emotions. And I know you all went through your little situation, and
this week, it was at first I was saying it was a rough week, but it felt rough because it's like a rebirth almost, and sometimes birth is rough. Sometimes it is pain when it's a rebirth. So it was probably rough. I'm not gonna say it was rough for both of us, cause we ended up, there was a situation between me and Babe, and it started off about money. Okay, y'all, that's probably the number one topic in everybody's household. Money. Okay, And that's what I would say ignited the fire, okay? So, it started off with a conversation about money and all of this, what we should do with it. Basically, should we pay bills? Should we get this? Should we, put it towards the legal help? Can we afford that right now? We need, just basically trying to prioritize, trying to talk about financial stuff as a couple, and figure out what's best. That's basic conversation for everybody. So yeah, we're both very passionate people, but you don't want to let your passion turn into something else because of unresolved issues. And I myself, I have realized this week that even at the age I am now, I still, from my childhood, I grew up in a household where it was not for a child to thrive and speak their mind, and it wasn't encouraging, empowering. Right. I went from a 2-parent household that was dysfunctional. My father was an alcoholic. He worked, he was a truck driver, so he did provide up until he did lose his job eventually because he was an alcoholic and he was drinking while he was getting like tickets and things for drinking on the road. And so that led him to losing his job, that led him to depression, that led him to drinking heavier, and it was violence in our household sometimes. And we would have to get up and leave in the middle of the night because he's just beating on my mama and things and all of this kind of stuff. And then they got a divorce.
Did that growing up seeing it, did it make you hard to just trust men, or did it?
I think it just really, I think I just started feeling a not good self-esteem. I think I took it inward because I'm looking at them as my parents. So if they're acting like that, then it's something wrong with me too. I think that's kind of how I processed it maybe. I was a daddy's girl, and I stood up for my daddy, honey. I stood up for that man. She got a divorce from him. They were married like 7 or 8 years.
I heard a few individuals speaking out. I heard a few individuals say the same thing.
Even though I saw him hit on my mom.
Daddy's girls, and went through a situation. I heard them say pretty much the same thing. They look at themselves, something wrong with them, or blame themselves or something like that. Yeah.
And then once he left, it was just me, my mom, and my brother. And the relationship with me and my mother was always I felt the envy from her towards me. Like from early on, I always felt like my mama don't really like me. It just was a odd feeling I had inside. I never voiced it to her because it would be just something I felt inside. But
do you think that played over into your relationship?
Yes, because growing up, my mom would anything. I ended up becoming narcissistic. Okay, that's a term that we need to research as black people, because narcissistic in the last 18 months has been a word that has helped me to evolve. Okay, y'all, and ladies, we talking about accountability, so I'm gonna say ladies and men.
Nah, don't worry about them.
But yeah. So anyway, but yeah, she would make me feel shame all the time, when I would, I guess, fall less below her expectations, she would say things to me that would make me feel low, about myself and my identity, like, nobody's gonna want to marry you unless you lose weight, or
I know y'all done talked.
And I was like 17. I was like in high school. I'm not even at the marrying age or even thinking about that. But she's telling me that at 17. You know, so.
I know y'all done talked about that. I know. I'm pretty sure you addressed that to him and he worked with you on that end.
Yes, he did. He did. I'm glad you brought that up because we don't want to forget that. But my husband really was patient with me in that process. Yes, very, very patient.
Very, very patient.
Through that whole process of uncovering and peeling off the onion layers of the issues that I still had in my subconscious mind, and how I have realized this week that I have been wearing a mask of who I truly am in certain areas, not 100%, but I say 70% at least. That's a mask. And basically, you know, just not being true to my feelings and my thoughts, especially with my husband. And
so is that part of the effect that y'all had through the week as far as disagreement? Right.
I think it was
just a bunch of boiled up emotions.
It exploded.
She just learned how to mask where she, instead of where I play a part in is, I don't care what you feel after I tell you how I feel. Mm-hmm. And it sounds heartless when you say it out your mouth like that, but sometimes being in a relationship, if you don't tell that person how you feel or your emotional boundaries, they're gonna step out on those emotional boundaries, and then if you don't say nothing, they're gonna step on it one day to where the smallest little thing gonna piss them off. So it what happened was it wasn't small, but at the end of the day, it was mass feelings. You get what I'm saying? Like I pick up on a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's energy that's not directed towards me. Like say for instance, I like to love and I love hard. You know what I mean? So the people that's around me, if you're around me and you're around me frequently, then that means I got love for you. Right. So when I tell people things, it comes from a good place. It don't necessarily come from a bad place. Even when I talk to anybody, it's always coming from a good place. So sometimes I can be overbearing, you know, I can be saying the same things or doing the same things as her past is. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they was coming from a good place. And she was a lot defensive.
Basically, when he would tell me what I'm doing wrong to him,
to me,
I would be kind of like, okay, all
right, whatever. So this is what you did wrong to make me do wrong.
Right. There was no accountability.
There was no accountability to it.
He couldn't make me put my finger on it as much. And I be, it was more of the egos clashing. And then that's when you have the explosion. And I think for me, because he came and asked me one question like a couple of hours after a previous argument. And I'm holding it in because I don't accept the shit that I do, and so I don't accept the shit that he do. And I sit here and I hold on to it. I'm still mad from 2 hours ago. He come ask me one question and I just explode. But the thing is, you know, it goes back to the shame and the fear of rejection that my mom gave me as a child, and then it rolled over into school. Because I was teased in elementary, middle school, high school. Shout out to all my classmates that teased me. I love y'all, you know, I'm good, you know. But yeah, I was teased, and so I constantly felt rejection anytime I would make some waves. I didn't want to make any waves for anybody. I would just, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm going through, I'm just going to hold it in because I don't want you mad at me. But then when you're holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it,
it's gonna come out like in a big old way.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Might
saying
not even have nothing to do with the
me.
situation.
Me personally,
Right.
I'm an emotional person. Like if I'm around comfortability, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Like if you make me feel some type of way, I'm gonna say, fam, this is what you made me feel like.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll make some people face certain truths that they don't want out. Like say for instance, if I'm sitting here and I don't want to face the fact that I was abused as a kid or whatever the case may be. If I don't want to face that fact, and then you do a trigger, you make a trigger to me, or you might show or express your feelings in a way to where I'm just gonna reject you. So where I come and play a role that with her is I'm the one that don't back down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I won't back down, and if I felt wrong in a situation, you can be mad as you want. You just gonna know that you did wrong. And even if we come to an agreement, we can come to an agreement to disagree at this time, and then later on I'm gonna come back and say, you was wrong about this situation. We still need to fix this.
Now me, I could tell him where he hurt my feelings thoroughly and without a hiccup and a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell him every wrong move he done made, but anything that he says, it's like a battle to get that communication. It's a battle when it's the other way around. With that communication, it's I don't want to accept it. I don't want to hear it because it doesn't feel good. I feel like you rejected me. I feel like, oh, this my mama talking to me again. That's what I have learned this week that I was still holding on to.
And that's what I was gonna say, because we about to get ready to close down in a minute.
Okay.
You recognizing that, by you recognizing that, you held yourself accountable to it.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, are you gonna continue to hold on to that? So next time another situation occur, you're gonna release it out. But from the sound of it, sound like that you're working on that, and that's a
right.
good thing. A lot of people, especially women, and I'm just gonna be honest, don't like to hold themselves accountable to their action. But that's what makes you a woman. What make you stronger as a woman, when you can see those actions, you address it, and then you start to change on it.
Right.
That's part of growth. Even as a man, you know what I'm saying. What would you say you hold yourself accountable to?
Oh, a lot. I every day I go to a self checkout inventory. I ain't lying. And it may sound like I'm not a perfect man. You know what I'm saying? I blow up, I get mad, but I face my problems head on. And see, the thing is, what my wife has been teaching me is it's okay to feel my feelings.
Yeah.
And at first, I wouldn't feel my feelings. Like I'll feel them for a certain extent, but as you can tell, I'm goofy 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, at the end of the day, I hold myself accountable on a lot of what is it, nagging?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I nag like a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those traits that I got, like a disconnect. Like I hate being disconnected with stuff because I never had connection to anything when I was younger.
Yeah.
My family. When you look at all the important people in my family and how it went, I left a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? I never was connected to people. So people that I love, I try to hold them on so tight. It tends to make that.
That's
hate.
what, and that's what it's called, a codependency relationship. Yeah, because it's like he said, when you're holding on and grasping, that's what takes away the genuineness of it, the naturalness, the flow. You want love to flow. You don't want to suffocate it, because you're in fear of losing it. Because you feel like you've lost it before. Yeah, you feel like you never had nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want to go into a situation where you feel that way because you can hold on so tight. Yeah, I was teaching her a lot of amazing things about herself, and but the thing that I was missing was, what am I giving back to myself? I might feel like I'm giving back to myself when I go in that room. You know what I'm saying? I love my studio, but it'll turn into work now. It's not work, but
It's a little bit less enjoyable.
I'm talking about far as to myself. Do I take time out to meditate? Do I take, because you see I got books. I done read majority of the books that you see over there. You know what I'm saying? But do I take time out for self? No, no kids, no wife, no nothing. Just taking time out for myself, and I never did it. Since I started my business, I never took time out for myself, and I weighed heavy on my wife because now she feel like, women feel like they should
I gotta make sure.
You know,
I have to make sure he's okay. Yeah.
So instead of us coinciding together and working together, we just friction together. Like, okay, I'm gonna make sure he good. You got your weed. You got your, stuff like this. It's always what you got. Do you need this? Do you have that? And then it's the same on my end. Before I leave, do you need this? Do you have that? Right. And it is nothing nurturing. Like one day you might want to sit down with y'all lady and don't do nothing. It's just completely quiet.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you say that because my wife, she say that a lot. I work so much to where she always tell me, don't do this. At least take time out. Do this for yourself. Do this. Do that. I used to work so much, man, to where I wasn't getting the proper rest, eating right, and I have acute bronchitis. So not take care of your body. You come home, then you want to drink here and there, and this and that. It end up flaring up. I ended up going to the hospital 2 times from doing the same thing. Oh, I got it. She like, man, we're not as young as we used to be. So you can't be working like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to get your rest up now. Sometimes I might not even be cutting one day. I just say, we ain't gonna cut today. And I done got comfortable now doing that. She done made me comfortable now to do that, to really enjoy home and be at peace and enjoy time to yourself. So now we have a thing now in our home where we at least take an hour out the day, each one of us. Whether she might be in there taking a nap, I might be in there on my 2K for a little bit. Girls in one room, one in on the Netflix, one doing her little thing.
Just some good downtime, personal me time.
You have to have that little time to yourself, and it does build it builds strength in us.
Because you can only give what you have. And it's like if you're never replenishing yourself, eventually the cup gonna be empty.
Yeah.
You gotta replenish that cup. Yeah.
So I'll stay in there, and she used to tell me all the time, when you gonna ever get out of there? And you know me, I'm like, man.
And they get mad because they be having they want sometimes
they want
Y'all weekend we got that hotel room. Oh my Lord, I almost cried that weekend.
To us, it's like it takes money to do these things, and it's like you ain't gotta come in a bad room for some money. You know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't no money back here.
That's how we think like that.
Right, you still have to see the value in other areas of your life.
I was wearing I can say honestly, I was wearing real heavy on her without knowing I was, because I wouldn't take time out for myself. I know I had a wife,
so I wouldn't be able to take time.
I knew before I had before we became like this, I knew I had someone that was like nurturing, because when you come here and you see how she treat her kids, you already know how she gonna treat her man, right? So I'm thinking she's a nurturer, you know what I mean? And I'm not looking at it as though she's gonna do that to me though. I'm a grown man. You ain't finna come in here checking on me every 10 minutes, talking about is you alright, is you need something, is you thirsty. I'm talking about literally, it got to a point to where she would literally come to bring plates to my desk, bro.
Cause he was not eating. He never went to the kitchen to get nothing to eat.
And so she got worried about that. Then the boys come in, he come in with his own little problems at school, the teacher done called, you know what I'm saying? Then baby girl done got a situation with her little boyfriend now, all these situations going on. Then she got a whole husband that ain't paying no attention to none of these situations. I ain't gonna even lie. I tell my daughter, look, you got a boy problem, don't come to me unless he hit you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, cause sometimes I ain't gonna lie, man. Look, he
wanna block out a lot of stuff.
We all for hearing, but when your daughter have boy problems that you done told her about, some things you gonna be like, look, you gonna have to learn this by yourself. Now, if it's out of hand, Yeah, if it
She's
get out of
18.
hand,
That's my oldest baby.
they just look at me and be like, your stepdad look like he a hood dude.
He still
so
wants her to be 12, like when he first met
of course,
her.
you know how I go, bro. I be wanting to pick her up.
Me and babe this year.
You can't have a boyfriend until you 60 around this
a little over a year. Yeah, 2
you
years.
Can't have a boyfriend until you about 80 around here, bro. I want to be dead and gone.
That's good though. That's good though.
Yes,
and now that y'all both back smiling and everything, to see
yes,
your first beginning when you first started.
Ooh, early this
but I'm kind of glad that y'all both.
It got real vulnerable.
This time it wasn't the man.
Good.
That's what I'm happy
y'all,
for. Like,
I'm the one that popped it off. Man, I got aggressive. It got ugly. And it even got ugly outside. When we look back at that day on Tuesday, if y'all can remember the weather Tuesday, it was like super dark, cloudy. It was and that was during, and it was just like that in our house.
You held yourself accountable to it. Before we close, what would you like to say to the women in a relationship as far as being able to do that? And then you said it bring y'all close, because now it brought what you call compromising. Y'all
right, and more awareness. Right. It's the awareness of who you really are.
Right.
You know, be real with who you really are. That's what I have learned. You know, if I'm not feeling something, don't just keep it in and say, yeah, babe, okay. No, say that. Say that, because that's a misleading, y'all. That's, even though you're in a relationship, that's still a form of misleading someone. Because then they're going on that you got it, you good, you got it, you good. And then all of a sudden, they come back and then it's like, pew! And it's like, whoa! You've been misleading the whole time. So figure out deeply, really inside, where your emotions come from. Is it coming from something old that you still hanging on to? Like all relationships, the baby daddies, the boyfriend from high school, all them. Your daddy too, okay? I have father issues too. Like, your husband or your man cannot be your father who did not abandon you. That can't be him. He can't make that right for your father. So I don't know how much time I have, but yeah.
You want to the brothers as far as
patience. I mean, understanding. With men, we have a tendency not to sharpen iron. Like when me and Bruce come together, we don't argue. We might not even agree. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a good solution to it. You know what I mean? With men, it just needs to be more of us around each other on a daily, like where it ain't just us dealing with the music, where we can have a little sip of drink right here, you know, and talk about problems.
Yeah.
You give me your problems, you know what I'm saying? Not in the way to where you giving me your marital problems, but just your everyday problems. You know,
give me some advice.
Yeah, give me some advice.
Another perspective.
Your problems might be my eureka moment.
Yeah.
You dig what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I am now. Some of my friends are coming around me, and I'm the positive light for them.
Right.
And I want some positives. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as being as it may, to attract who I am, we all doing something. Like, look what you doing. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at me, look what I be doing. Right. So it's kind of hard for us to come together sometimes because we have lives. But like, we got live, you know, Facebook Live. That's why I'm able to come on your live, you know. Or
this was real big like for me, y'all, to come on live and say that I fucked up and I did some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I can say this to the men: learn
but
patience. If you really love a woman, if you say that you love, don't be playing yourself. Don't play yourself just by what a woman has. If a woman has money, if a woman has her own place, and if she got your broke ass, then just know she ain't wanting it. She want elevation of the mind, maybe elevation of spirit, elevation of soul, maybe elevation of love. It ain't got,
you
know what I'm saying?
That's real, and we're gonna get ready to close out, and that's what we're gonna leave it with the people. It's about growth. You can't just jump into a relationship. That's what we have to stop doing. And have to start teaching our youth as well. Just jumping in a relationship just because you attracted to someone is not going to get you where you trying to be in life. You know, attraction is one thing, but a spiritual growth, being able to learn off one another. There's some things, like they say, the opposite attract.
Like magnets.
So, and that's true because you able to show, y'all might be similar in some ways, but some instances you might be strong in this area than he is, and he's strong in the area that you are, and y'all can put that together. That's the balance. You can put that together, and that's what. Once you learn how putting it together is the hardest thing. Once you learn how to put it together, that's what make it grow. That's what make y'all foundation strong. To where even when situations do occur, it's just a pebble hitting the wall, bouncing off a wall versus a whole boulder coming through. You know?
One more thing to piggyback out for you. Arguing is actually good for the relationship. Just good arguing. Like say for instance, it ain't gotta be to where you name calling afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It just like it ain't gotta be the name calling. It ain't gotta be the I downgrade you. It could be arguing is a form of getting your emotions out and showing you how passionate it is about. If just think about it like this: if me and my partner been homeboys for 18 years, bro, and we never had an argument, then you know somebody lying. So that goes with your relationship. Like if everybody just always good, you know what I'm saying, and always walking by with a happy smile on their face, baby, good? Yeah, I'm good. Somebody cheating. I swear to God, that's how it ends up. It's somebody getting satisfied in other ways. Other than, because when you get mad and you argue, you come at your partner like, say my nigga, you gotta check this, either you check this or I'm checking out, type deal. And that's letting that partner know this is a boundary line also.
That's what's up. Man, I thank y'all. This is our first episode, first show ever.
What? I'm on the first? I'm the first.
This is the creator, y'all.
The next one is going to be, we're going to actually be discussing some situations.
And his name is Bruce.
We're actually going to be discussing situations.
Oh, the thing.
We're actually going to be discussing some situations. Talking to those who was incarcerated, the transition from prison to the free world.
Oh man,
so we're gonna get actually speaking with a couple of brothers, and they're gonna actually be discussing their situation on how they transition and how hard it is. And you're gonna have some brothers that look for help, and sometimes they can't get it, and they tend to fall back into where they are. One thing about good ENT, greatness out of destruction, is what it stands for, along with Vision F.A.R, which is a non-profit organization that I created with a few brothers. Vision F.A.R means vision for a reason, so that we can start teaching our young brothers and our young sisters, but especially our young brothers, teaching them how to grow into be young men. Exactly. We have a lot of programs out there.
And stop these young men from killing each other.
Exactly, and we're gonna be teaching them, showing them how to respect women, teaching them how to even tie a tie, how to dress teaching them how to be themselves, and including with the women, teaching them how to be themselves.
And you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but we want to make sure that our young people know it's not about dressing properly, because we don't want them to think that a tie is the only thing that's proper.
Nah,
we want them to know what you have on right here. All of our black kids don't have to work on jobs. They can also be entrepreneurs, and that means you as the business owner, you wear what's comfortable for you. So what is good for you might be not a tie.
A lot of people think it's cool to dress as they call thuggish, urban, this and that. And then when they see, but if you was walking the house, another person, just say it's a room full of cats, got their designer on, look like how they look today, this and that. Then one person walk in, he has on a suit and tie. They'll kind of respect him more, but at the same time, they'll clown him. But then when they get the money, they want to feel like gangsters. What do they go put on? A suit and a tie. You see you see how backward it is? You know what I'm saying? And okay, if you want the original look of a businessman or original gangster, which was a business,
what the song say, the classic man.
The classic man, you're gonna go get that look.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that but that look doesn't define you. It just defines what
Right.
level you on, what
Right.
your mentality, where you at. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And you want to be able to plant that in our youth. I have a cousin up north. She has what is called No Shades. You know, a non-profit organization. Shout out to No Shades up north in Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, and they do a lot of things where they do like kids prom, and have the kids dress up, and they do, and it's getting bigger and bigger each year, and it's a beautiful thing to see how these children embrace that. These kids embrace it, and then it's teaching them how to love themselves, and they building up confidence, and they embrace that because they get to dress up and they get to feel, what it feels like.
Fancy.
It feels like, and it's a beautiful thing, and I would love to see that come, branch off into like a
Dallas division.
Dallas division.
So can I ask a question? Cause I'm a different way of thinking. I just need to ask a question because, I think different on that. I like to. What about the people that like to set trends? Like me, I'm not a suit and tie type dude, and I'm not supposed to wear one. I want to create ways to where I ain't got to, and I said that the way I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
I ain't got to, right? But it's like I'm not doing anything hurtful or wrong. It's just that if I'm able to chase millions of being who I am, and who I am as being loved, then, I'm not saying that the suit and tie ain't good, and my wife is going to choke me into getting one, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to leave room. I just want to open that door for those who do think like me, because I do set trends. Like, say, for instance, I just don't feel comfortable with going with the time.
That's what Vision for is. Vision for it ain't to tell you how you should look, or don't let the world validate who you are. That's why I was just touching on.
Like, I don't like all
that's why
suit thing.
Listen to me. I was just touching on some things. That's why I was saying it's about you embracing who you are. It's about if you got a gift. See, one thing about schools, they don't teach you to use your gift a lot.
Right.
They teach you to become workers in
job.
society and this and that.
Yeah. A good worker.
Vision for us to teach you how to use your gift. You know what I'm saying?
And be who you are. Right.
You got many talents. Use that.
Yeah.
Now it might be one talent you stronger in. Now use that to build and let your other talents build off that. But sometimes we be so scattered. You know what I'm saying? Our mind be, we want to do this, we want to do that, we put that. But when you got structure around you, like you say, more brothers need to get together. Same with sisters, they got to get together more. When you have that structure and you sharpening each other, you able.
That's
to
how
do
they do that. Yeah, that's how you can get that done.
Exactly.
Like my partner got that pro dance thing. I wanted to be a part of it. And speaking of, you still didn't come pick me up. Anyway, he was a pro dance thing they do. It's like a thing they do for school.
Right.
Like what the dads do, they go down the hallways and do stuff. Like they got a whole day for them. Mm-hmm. Like where they just patrolling the highways, checking on kids' classroom, and it's dads doing this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Other men. Yeah. And stuff like that is what I want to endorse too. Like, it ain't about being scared of the kids, but it's about that. Because a lot of parents these days, a lot of alpha men got taken out of the household because it was drugs, institutions, prisons. All these things were formed to imprison the black man that was not the beta male, but the alpha. Why? Yeah. Because the alpha is the one that's gonna take lead.
It's 2 minutes left on that one. All right, let's close. Okay. Then we can.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that
next show, y'all.
I was just saying, like, it's more men need to be, more alpha men need to come out. They're getting out of jail now and stuff like that. That's cool, but they made a lot of alpha men shameful to come out because they know they're gonna get killed, they targeted, all these things. So pro dads is one of them situations, you know what I'm saying? Or what you doing? I wanna do things like this where we get around a bunch of men like us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's gonna be willing to say, I ain't scared of you.
Right.
You know, because these kids, they are scary. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Alright, let's close that real quick. Alright, y'all. I thank y'all for joining in, tuning in with Good ENT Vision F.A.R. Like I say, man, we must clean house within the community first. On to the next episode. Peace. You about to walk in the